Watching Aida feels like stepping into a labyrinth of unspoken truths and subtle gestures that resonate long after the screen goes dark. The narrative structure is deceptively simple, presenting Aida's world through a lens of quiet observation while layering complex social, psychological, and emotional landscapes beneath. One of the first things that strikes me is the interplay between silence and sound. In the opening sequence, Aida moves through her apartment with a deliberate slowness, the only audible noises being the hum of a refrigerator and distant city murmurs. This choice immediately establishes a sense of isolation yet intimacy, as if we are intruding on her private universe. The cinematography captures this beautifully, employing tight, claustrophobic framing, forcing the audience to focus on the minutiae of her movements, from the tilt of her head to the subtle clenching of her fists. These gestures communicate more than dialogue could, demonstrating the director's belief in the power of visual storytelling over verbal exposition. In one particularly striking scene, Aida is at a cafe, observing strangers as they move past. The camera lingers on her eyes, capturing fleeting moments of curiosity, judgment, and longing. The cafe itself becomes a microcosm of society, each patron a symbol of the broader themes explored in the film: alienation, connection, and the human desire to be seen and understood. The color palette during these sequences is muted, dominated by earthy tones and the soft glow of morning light, which contrasts sharply with the later, more saturated sequences where Aida confronts her own desires and frustrations. These contrasts highlight the inner tension between conformity and rebellion, a recurring motif throughout the film. Dialogue is sparse but deliberate, often overlapping or trailing off to mirror the fragmented nature of human thought. The exchanges between Aida and her best friend are particularly revealing. They oscillate between moments of tenderness and sharp, almost painful honesty, exposing vulnerabilities that might otherwise remain hidden. I am reminded of the way certain scenes in European cinema, particularly in the works of directors who focus on character studies, rely on pauses and silences to convey profound truths about the human condition. As Aida walks through the streets of a city later in the film, the camera captures reflections in shop windows, puddles, and mirrored surfaces, suggesting the multiplicity of perspectives and the often fragmented nature of identity. The narrative subtly explores the tension between appearance and reality, a theme that is emphasized through Aida's interactions with her family, colleagues, and romantic interests. One of the most compelling sequences occurs during an evening gathering where Aida witnesses a heated discussion among friends about morality, responsibility, and personal ambition. The camera remains fixed on Aida, letting the dialogue unfold around her, illustrating how she processes the cacophony of opinions without immediately reacting. Her contemplative expressions invite viewers to engage in their own reflection, bridging the gap between character and audience. The film's treatment of time is equally fascinating, employing non-linear sequences, flashbacks, and recurring motifs to echo the cyclical nature of memory and regret. One flashback to Aida's childhood reveals a formative moment of loss and discovery presented without overt exposition. The power of these sequences lies in their subtlety. The audience is trusted to piece together the emotional resonance from small details such as a lingering glance, a half-finished drawing, or the sound of a music box. Visually, the film juxtaposes intimate close-ups with wide, almost cinematic vistas of the city, creating a rhythm that mirrors Aida's internal oscillation between introspection and external engagement. The score is equally layered, combining minimalist piano melodies with ambient urban sounds, reinforcing the tension between personal emotion and the external world. In reflecting on Aida, one cannot ignore the thematic exploration of agency and constraint. Aida navigates social expectations, familial obligations, and personal ambition with a sense of quiet determination, yet the narrative does not shy away from depicting the limits imposed upon her by circumstance and societal norms. The film encourages viewers to consider the ways in which identity is negotiated, performed, and constrained by both internal and external pressures. Overall, The combination of meticulous cinematography, nuanced performances, and a subtle yet compelling narrative structure elevates Aida from a simple character study into a profound meditation on human connection, memory, and the spaces between words. It is a film that rewards careful observation, inviting multiple viewings to fully appreciate the layers of meaning embedded within each scene. Its lasting impact lies not just in the story told, but in the quiet spaces where meaning emerges, allowing the viewer to inhabit Aida's world with both empathy and critical awareness.